Our vision is to enlarge the kingdom through training preschool teachers, and in so doing, we know that we will enhance children's futures. Through Isivuno Training, we want to give children hope, that's the gospel, and a future, that is better education. We are basically training and supporting preschool teachers so that the children from disadvantaged areas can just get better education, especially those teachers that do not have a formal qualification and to provide a service in their homes. It means it's small daycares, creches and preschools that can benefit from what we are offering. People often ask us why focus on preschools, and it's so important to realize that there's research that shows that a large number, and in certain areas it's more than 75% of the learners that start school, they will not finish school. Isn't that enough reason to give them a better baseline? We want to give children a better chance to be school ready and therefore to perform better at school. A little more about what we do. We offer an intensive, interactive and practical 5 days teacher training for the teachers to catch the heart and passion of Isivuno in terms of excellence. They really need to grab the principles of why we're doing what we're doing and why we're doing it, how we're doing it. Then we're offering mentoring and workshops. Mentoring is available and we walk a path with the teachers to implement what they have learned, and then we offer workshops on classroom strategies but also on resource making so that they can make affordable posters, cards and teaching activities for their classes. We prefer to establish training centers, but multiplication is important to expand our preschool teacher training to reach more teachers, and therefore we will be able to impact more children. The training focus firstly on why we're doing what we're doing, and then we're looking at the administrative task of teachers. We want to make sure they understand exactly what's expected of them and what filing, everything they need to have in place. And then teaching strategies are so crucial to know what they can do when it's whole class time, small group time, story time. They need to be able to use their daily program effectively. And that is where these strategies come in. Then the classroom and playground need to be developed. So it's very important that we help them with that. In terms of the content, we've developed a curriculum for them to follow. Some teachers will have their own lesson plans, but when they come to Isivuno Training, we provide them with the lessons that are aligned with South African CAPS and NCF. And we make sure that we actually address numeracy or exploring maths, language, that's also called communication, and life skills. So they get the material to be able to present their classes. Lastly, resources. Teachers think they need to go and buy everything, and we show them how recycled material can be used, how they can make their own posters from really affordable things, and that is really an eye-opener for our teachers. So during training, we work through the ABC for preschool teachers, and we address every letter, so these teachers now have a new ABC. A is for a very good beginning and focus on the importance of a daily program. B is for biblical foundation and integration. I will share a little bit more about that. Curriculum outlined. They need to see what the curriculum looks like and why does it look like that for the sake of child development. Dare to care towards developing children are so important. In educational activities and strategies, they need to think what activities and strategies they can use to achieve their objectives. Then we focus on school success. just to help the teachers to know about enrollment forms and what information about their teachers must they have, the contracts they need to have, what files do they need to have for finances, for their themes. So it's really helping them to be successful. Go safe. It's about safety on the way to school, safety at school, and also safety at home. Then we look at health and hygiene. The teachers need to know to help the children to eat healthier and know about basic diseases and first aid. I am able, helping the teacher to realize I'm fearfully, wonderfully made in God's image, and I am able to do what He called me to do. Joy of teaching is so important, because when the teacher enjoys teaching, the children will enjoy learning. And we really believe that learning should be fun. Kingdom discipline is a huge one, to help the teachers to know that discipline is not about punishment. Because if I discipline in love, I'm actually busy discipling. We focus on the outcomes of language development to make sure that teachers are aware of what the children need to develop before they go to school. What is mentoring? How will we be able to have a mentor, and what does the mentoring relationship entail? It's very important to help the teachers to know that they should consider mentoring if they want to improve themselves. Numeracy focus on exploring mathematics, and we also focus on how do you teach numeracy, where do you start, so that the teachers can be aware that you can't start with abstract if they don't understand what the concrete of numbers are all about. It's not just about counting, so we want them to understand that. Obstacles to learning, there's so many that teachers just need to be aware what could block a child's learning and what teaching strategies can they use to address it. Parent involvement, a challenge to all our schools and preschools. We give them some ideas of what they can do. Quality and excellence is so important. Only excellence is good enough for God. And we're working with God's children, so we really want to make sure they get the best. With reflecting on teaching and performance, we're helping the teachers to do a very basic assessment and observing the children, making notes so that they can see what they lack and where they should reinforce and what they should reteach. Then skills for life are all those many skills that the child needs to learn before they go to school, and we work through the different areas of skills that the child needs. Then when it comes to themes, all preschools follow themes all over the world, and we just help the teachers to know what themes they should include in their classes, and then those themes are followed in our lesson plans as well. Uniqueness is so important to realize that children are so different, and that they need to be able to celebrate the differences and the similarities of children, and to help the children to feel special. Values are part of every day, and we're helping the teachers to teach godly values to the children. And then lastly, we do writing development every day, helping the teachers to think, how do we develop finger muscles, how do we hold our pencils, and how do we form the letters correctly. And XYZ's all for all the rest that's happening in between the training. We've already mentioned that we're biblical based, and it's so important to realize when teachers have a biblical worldview and use biblically integrated material, the children will hear about God's love, and they may be able to follow Him therefore and have a chance to a better future. And then how do we do this? We help them to teach with a biblical worldview. So we address a biblical worldview. Why is biblical integration important, and how do we do it? We can't do a Bible story or devotion in the morning and then think we are a Christian-based school. How do we integrate biblical principles through the day? How do we lay biblical foundations? In other words, how do we help children to pray and to worship and to sing and to act in kindness, to have the right values? The fruit of the Spirit is part of this. And then the biggest example that we can ever have is to teach in God's way. And that is what we see in the Bible. How did Jesus teach? Following the example that he showed us. Where do we train? In South Africa, we train in Port Elizabeth, Okbega, George, Mossel Bay, Pretoria, and Kirkwood. But that is where we have centers. We also will train where we're invited to train. So we are open to train in other areas, and we've done so. We've trained in Kenya. We have a training center in Kenya, in Uganda, and the one in Botswana is busy starting. So that is so special that we can also extend our training into Africa. Come talk to us, find out more information. That's the best way to learn what we're doing. We're looking forward to talk to you.